a nice 2-point pull-up from number 10.
Alex Sharp.
Alex Sharp. Thank you, Brad. I don't have my glasses. I'm having a lot of trouble with this font. Shot clock violation, New Zealand, Australian possession. And that's a foul, New Zealand. And Sharp from Australia at the line for 2 shots. Second shot, good. 1 shot, sorry, Brad.
Great.
Australia with the steal. And there's a foul there. Oh, thank you. That's one Australian. Georgia Pinot with 2 points for Australia and one to come.
It's interesting now, if you look, New Zealand's playing a man-to-man, and this is the first time Australia's played against a man all week. And so it's a good matchup. Australia's just sticking to their normal man-to-man defense and, you know, working the boards really hard and pressuring up on D. But it's a really good contest in the sense that both teams, as we see, are pretty evenly matched. Australia's had much bigger wins, but New Zealand is also a strong team. So we'll see how New Zealand settles into the game. At the line is Gabriel Fotu. And hits 2, so it's 7-4 with 6:50 left in the first. It's Elizabeth Tonks for 3. It's a great shot, and New Zealand straight back. So this is the type of game that we would expect, a good up and down game, and they're going to contest all the shots, but they're also going to challenge each other. So it should be, as New Zealand starts to settle in, and so does Australia, it should be a good, tight game. Georgia Pinot for 2, and again, one of the things that stood out over the week is Australia's ability to defend and just really play a lot of pressure defense, and then also they've just flat dominated the board. So again, tonight they're off to a good start in terms of rebounding and contesting. But again, if you look, New Zealand is just happy and really confident in taking it right at them. So they've got really good strength and good speed, and they're good athletes. So again, they just have to settle down and keep the game close and see how Australia reacts. Hannah Tusa at the foul line, shooting 2. And it's a great rebound by Gabriela Fotu. And again, it's New Zealand, a strong team. They can rebound. And it's 12-8 with 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Three-second violation on Australia. New Zealand's ball. It's a great rebound by Bridie Hapawati from Queensland. And again, a really strong move, but contested all the way by New Zealand. And Bridie will go to the line for 2 shots. And New Zealand now is in the bonus. The foul count is 5 New Zealand, 2 Australia, 12-8. 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. A good ball movement by New Zealand against the man-to-man defense, and Australia's going to pressure up as much as they can, try to disrupt New Zealand, force turnovers, really chew through the shot clock and try to get them to shoot late in the shot clock. But if New Zealand can get into a rhythm in their offense, use their screens, and get good ball movement and protect the ball and get it in a position to run their offense, they should do really well. Five-second violation. Good defense by Australia. It's a good defense by New Zealand. Stopped the drive. Got a little turnover by Australia. 12-8. Australia's up with 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. That's foul on Australia, Ella Helisey, and that puts Australia in the bonus, so both teams now in the bonus, so we'll shoot free throws for the rest of the quarter. And free throw good by Charlotte Ellie. Both teams really struggling at the free throw line. The score's now 12-9. Australia with 2:30 left in the first. Foul is on Australia, number 7, Morgan Yeager, who's just entered the game. Morgan's from South Australia. In 12-10, Australia's up with 2 minutes and 10 seconds left in the first quarter. And we've got an offensive foul on Bridie Hapawati, and that's her second foul. It's a non-shooting foul. And a big three by Charlotte Ellie, and that takes the score New Zealand 13-12 with 1:50 left in the first. Good hustle by New Zealand. Now this is where it'll get interesting because Australia's been up by so much through the tournament. This is the first time they've been behind, probably all tournament, and certainly first time they've been behind, if there's been an exception to that, late in the first quarter. So it'll be a real good test for the Australians to see how do they react to the pressure that the New Zealanders are putting them on defensively, and the fact that New Zealand's starting to get into a little rhythm. Good defense by New Zealand, a 24-second violation. 1:25 left in the first. Good penetration and dish by New Zealand. Now it's 15-12, 1 minute to go in the first. New Zealand showing their man, doing a good job. It's good ball pressure by New Zealand, and as you can see, they're double teaming the post. For Australia, Daniela is very strong, number 9 in the post, so they want to try to keep the ball away from her, or if she gets it, they want to really put a lot of pressure through a double team on her and see if she can pass out of it. Daniela is a very good free throw shooter, so hopefully she'll get both. That's foul on number 4 for Australia, Crystal McKenzie. New Zealand goes to the line for 2, and they're up 15-13 with 38 seconds to go. And Ahong Alaya makes the first and the second. Good shooting. Good defense by New Zealand. Now 7 seconds left in the shot clock. They're doing a good job of contesting the entry pass to the post, and Australia just hasn't made the adjustments to the pressured man-to-man defense as of yet. Good defense by number 6, Elizabeth Tonks from Australia. And with 1 second left, New Zealand picks up a foul. And that'll send Daniela to the line for 2 shots. There we go, an end of a great first quarter. New Zealand 17-13.
Okay, we're back on in the second quarter here. Australia with possession. And a foul called here on New Zealand. New Zealand number 10. Hannah Tusa. End ball play from Australia. Ooh, and a travel call on Daniela. Intense pressure from the New Zealanders again at the start of this second quarter. Both teams just taking it up to each other, up and down the floor. This early in the second quarter, taking some time to settle in.
She's cramping in.
3-second violation, Australia. New Zealand 17, Australia 13. 8 minutes 45 in the second quarter to go.
Great shot by Gabriel Fotu, and New Zealand's up 19-13. Now, if you watch the Australian offense right now, there's just not enough movement, and they just need to get a little bit more on their cuts. They need to get a little bit more on their down screens and swing the ball a little bit quicker. Sub for Australia, Ella Hellisy. In for Daniela. Everything's contested, which is great. Both teams are playing hard. New Zealand's defending, getting back, taking off the transition opportunities away from Australia. And Australia is really fighting for the boards. Right now, this is the type of game I thought. And what did you think before you got here?
Oh, look, we expected New Zealand to come out hard. They've had, like Australia, all week, big margins. There's been daylight between both Australia and New Zealand and their opposition all week. So this was always going to be a tough match.
And I think too, nobody can ever underestimate. And if there's people watching that are from from outside of Australia and New Zealand, you can never underestimate the competitiveness of both countries when they play each other. Whether it's cricket, whether it's netball or basketball or tennis or anything.
Oh, that's so true. We're close geographically. We're neighbours, but we're very strong competitors. There's a strong rivalry between Australia and New Zealand. That's for sure.
It's great too because the rivalries are fantastic. and considering how intense they are in rugby and rugby league and everything, it's always played within, with great sportsmanship and respect. So New Zealand have come out very, very strong, and Australia is working hard. I think the next 2 or 3 minutes up until halftime, it's going to be interesting to see what happens and if either side can start to break the other one down.
Well, there's a long way to go, Brad, and I'm mindful it's 30 degrees in the stadium here today. They've had a long week of hot games, both teams, and so I think the conditions have to play a part in how this game will roll out.
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. In who's just got enough left in the tank, and then also the way they're playing now. Fouls will play a part because they are accumulating fouls, and that's just part of great contested play by New Zealand. They're just not giving up on anything. They're not giving an inch, and it shows.
The New Zealand girls look to have a spring in their step at the moment. I have to say they're looking very intense, very positive, driving to the basket, and it's paying off. 21-13 New Zealand in the lead so far. 6 minutes 15 to go in the second quarter. Georgia Pinot makes the shot, bumped on the way to the basket, and will go to the line for a foul. Foul is called on New Zealand, number 10, Hannah Tusa.
Just on the play there, their offense, they were very stagnant, but Georgia had some space and she took advantage of it, and that's what they're going to have to do until they get a little bit more movement. Great offensive rebound, fantastic. They have to keep working the boards like this, and they're going to have to take advantage of space when they have it and get a heck of a lot more movement. New Zealand just keep doing the wonderful job they're doing in the half court. Scores 21 New Zealand, 15 Australia, 5:36 to go in the second quarter. Morgan Yeager into the game, and Morgan's had a really good tournament. She's very athletic, very aggressive, and this is the type of situation where she'll really excel, just in terms of her defensive aggressiveness and just being relentless on the floor. So hopefully she can give Australia the spark that she's given them all week. It's a little bit better by Australia. They played good defense. New Zealand had to put the shot up with 3 or 4 seconds left in the clock, which is what you want to do. Then they're able to start their transition game, get down, get a foul, and that's where if Australia can open the court up, get some good defensive possessions, create a couple of turnovers, and just get a little bit more movement up and down the court and spread it out, they can get back in this game. And not that they're that far out, but the longer this goes, the more confidence New Zealand's going to maintain and develop in their half-court defense, which has been fantastic so far.
It's been wonderful, and they certainly are looking confident. They're not. Coach is talking to his team now. He doesn't appear to be rotating through quite as much as Coach Flynn from Australia is. He seems to be moving his players through regularly. You might hear now the Samoan boys in the background. All week, this event has just been tremendous with the amount of support and active dancing and singing and chanting from the sidelines. It's just been tremendous. Bridget O'Brien at the line now for 2 for Australia. First shot is good. And the second, that brings it 21 New Zealand, 17 Australia, 4 minutes 35 in the second. Bridget O'Brien going to the line again. New Zealand racked up 4 fouls now. First is good. 21-18 now. And the second is good. That's a massive 3 from Bridget O'Brien, putting Australia in the lead now, 22-21, 3 minutes 10 in the second quarter. Oh, and through traffic. Morgan Jaeger for 2, and New Zealand have called a timeout here. Things are hotting up here now, Brad.
Yeah, it's just a really good sequence of play there. There's 9 straight points by Australia. Good timeout by the New Zealand coach to try to settle things down. But you know, if you look at it, you see, you know, Bridget O'Brien, you know, she gets 4 straight free throws, which, you know, the free throws you never underestimate. They're free shots, but if you make them, it just gives everybody a lot of confidence. When you start missing them, you know, it creates a little bit of doubt. Early in the game, we missed a lot of free throws. She hits 4 straight. She gets a good break on the 3-pointer. But, you know, we see 3 really aggressive plays by Bridget. We see 3 really good rebounds by Ella to start the break. And then, as she's done throughout the week, Morgan, you know, just takes the ball to the basket really strong. So in the last minute and a half, 2 minutes, the group, or Australia's just really got just kind of energized by a few plays. And now this is where New Zealand will just have to come back, get back, set in their defense, get a stop. They're going to have to come out of here and get a score and just try to slow what, you know, this little momentum and this run that Australia's got going.
Turnover now. New Zealand with possession.
Three fouls on Bridie. A little bit unlucky. It was a box out that she misread. New Zealand has now possession with 1:30. Australia up 24-21. That's a good stop and pop by Morgan Yeager. And I've got to say that Bridget O'Brien has just really come on and defended very well over the last 3 or 4 minutes. And if you notice, there's a lot more body contact on defense by the Australian team, and they've really lifted on that end. New Zealand's just struggling to score right now. Whether they're a little bit tired, they need to get in and regroup at the break at halftime, or it's just the defense intensity has picked up to the point where New Zealand are just breaking down offensively. Great play by Bridget O'Brien. There we go again. It's just good defense, being very alert and capitalizing on it. Australia 28, New Zealand 21, 3 seconds to go. New Zealand's got a chance to get one good shot up here to finish the second quarter. It's halftime, 28 Australia, 21. So big second quarter by Australia. Henry, what do you think?
Well, no score there. Australia again with the rebound. And out of play on the baseline. Australia will throw in. In and out, and a foul found It'll be New Zealand ball. Foul is called on... Help me out here, Brad. Was that 9 or 10?
It's Daniela.
On number 9, Daniela.
And Daniela has 3 fouls. She had a great tournament, and this game is really challenging her. New Zealand's doing a good job in the post, so it's a good game for her. She's going to have to just kind of settle down now, get her rhythm, and sort of get into the game offensively, and her defensive rebound's fine.
And number 7, Charlotte Ellie, making that basket through traffic. There's some very physical play going on there in the paint. Brad.
Great drive, and we just talked about it. Daniela had 3 fouls, now she's got 4, so she's out of the game, which is great for New Zealand. She's going to have to rest. Coming in for Daniela is Ella, who had a great rebounding quarter in the second quarter. So if she can maintain her effort on the boards, it'll be really good for the team. But with Daniela coming out, she really hasn't gotten to a rhythm tonight, and that's been credit to New Zealand.
And Charlotte made that foul shot, that free throw, so it's now Australia 28-24 New Zealand. Nice basket there from Alex Sharp, 30-24. And the captain from New Zealand says, no, thank you very much, took it all the way down and made that layup beautifully, 26-30. New Zealand 26, Australia 30. Driving to the basket, draws the foul, and will go to the line. It's New Zealand first foul. Australia have 2 team fouls. Subbing in for Charlotte, we have Jaeger. Nice shooting from Ella. It's 31 Australia, New Zealand 26 now. Oh, and a nice steal there from Georgia Pinot. Australia playing strong D. And there's a basket through traffic. That's a tough basket to make. From, who was that? Alex Sharp, and she'll go to the line for another shot.
And that's where, what Australia's been able to do against the other countries is just defend, get a steal, go into transition. And it's going to be a lot harder to do it tonight. But if you see when they do it, they're strong enough and athletic enough to finish. Alex Sharp finishes really well. And that's what Australia's got to do. They've got to create opportunities in transition.
Beautiful basket from Fotu. 2 points for New Zealand. That's Australia 34, New Zealand 28 now. Oh, nice work, Ella. And she's going to go to the line now. It's a 3rd foul for New Zealand in under 4 minutes.
It's a big foul. That's 4 fouls on Gabriela Fotu, and she's played exceptionally well. It's just that little short jump shot. She's been very active offensively and defensively, so that's going to hurt. Now it's 35-28 Australia with 6:56 left in the 3rd quarter, and again, Ella's come on, played really well, has been active. And hits both free throws, which is good. So she's come on doing a very good job. And she's got a lot of confidence. You can tell by the way she's running the floor, and she's rebounding and defending.
Three-second violation on Australia. New Zealand with the ball. It's 36-28, 6 minutes 22 in the third. Oh, beautiful reverse layup from the captain here, Alia. No, it wasn't Alia. My apologies. Penny. Bishop Paenga. Oh, and a big three from Jaeger. Now 38-30, 5 minutes 50 to go. Oh, big rebound here from Ella. She's done incredibly well, hasn't she, since subbing on? And a nice two, Georgia Pinot. These girls are just trading baskets end to end now, Brad.
Yeah, and you know, it starts with Ella Hellisey's rebound. She did a good job. You know, she got the outlet pass out. And if you look, New Zealand, you know, it's a good timeout by their coach. They're a little bit tired, so they had a couple of kids hanging around the backcourt. The court gets spread out. Good long aggressive pass down to Georgia, and you get a score. So New Zealand needs to regroup, because this is the type of, you know, this is the time of a game where Australia can get it into another gear. So they've got really good depth. They're rotating their players through, and New Zealand's playing basically 8 players, and now they have, you know, one of their key players, Gabriel Afotu, on 4 fouls. So they've got to watch themselves over the next few minutes, but it's going to come down to their ability to not turn the ball over. They're going to have to get some second shots, and they're going to have to get back on defense. 41-30, 5:32 left in the third. And now we have Bridget O'Brien for Australia on, and Bridget did a great job in the second quarter. Really lifted the team and really, you know, turned our attitude and turned our energy up 3 or 4 notches. And there you go. You see the pressure now. You know, Morgan just gets up and just really mauls the New Zealand guard. Probably not used to that sort of pressure. Starting to get a little bit tired now. And this is where New Zealand really have got to concentrate. Yeah, just another really good shot there by Morgan. Good half-court defense by Australia, and coming in for the game for New Zealand, number 9, Caroline Hardiman. .45-30, 4:09 left in the third. Shelby Britton off the bench and creates a steal, comes down, hits her first jump shot. This is now we're starting to play. Australia's starting to play like they have throughout the week, just pressuring up, running the floor, getting easy shots in transition. Now New Zealand's, they're going to have to run through their offense and not shoot so quickly. You're not going to make the lead up in one possession, but they need to control the ball, get settled back on offense. It's good pressure in the backcourt by New Zealand. Number 6, Bronwyn Kierstrup. Foul by Elizabeth Tonks and puts Australia into the penalty, so New Zealand will go to line and shoot 2. .49-33, Australia ahead with 2:48 left in the third quarter. Foul on Shelby Britton. New Zealand will go to the line, but you know what's interesting, Anne, is that New Zealand did a great job defensively in the first quarter. Fantastic. They're in a man-to-man. The second quarter, they stay in the man. Australia starts to get up. They go into halftime. Australia goes up 28-21. They went on a 15-point turnaround. They were down by 8, and then they went in up by 7. And then New Zealand's now gone to the zone. Now, some of that's foul trouble, but this is what everybody played against Australia all week. And I actually thought the man was a really good ploy because Australia was clearly unsettled. They didn't really have the balance and the timing that they have in the zone. So it'd be interesting to see if he stays in the zone for that much longer.
How much of a factor is fatigue, do you think, in making the decision to switch between man D and going into a zone? When you've got players who are tired, they've got heavy legs at the end of a long tournament.
Yeah, absolutely could be. It could be foul trouble, but one of the problems with the zone, and I guess this is my personal opinion, the zone, if you don't really play it that much, you're going to give up a lot of offensive rebounds. You see the last sequence, people start forgetting to box out, so Australia shot till they made it. And it's good effort by Australia, but it's not consistent with the effort that we've seen from New Zealand when they were in the man.
Nice work from Georgia Pinot there. 2 points, taking Australia 20 points clear of New Zealand, 53-33. A bit more than a minute left to go in the third. And a block there again by Bridget. She's been a real contributor, hasn't she?
She's been great, and just the energy that she's provided both offensively and defensively. She's made some really good decisions. I mean, she's had a very great week. And I'm sure this experience of being down here and playing with a lot of different players and playing against a lot of different players, she's going to go home with a big smile on her face, knowing that I think she's had a lot of fun. She's also, I think, really developed as a player, as they all have, but it's going to open her eyes to the potential and the possibilities she has as a young basketball player. 54 Australia, 35 New Zealand, 30 seconds to go in the third. Both teams are in the penalty now, so 2 shots for New Zealand. Now, Anne, from my understanding, there's many thousands of people watching this game all over the world. I know we have one, Georgia Pinot's sister, Alexandra, is watching it in South Carolina at Clemson University. It's pretty impressive, isn't it?
It's marvelous. You know, the wonders of technology. You're right, people from all across the world. There are a lot of people here from across the Pacific who perhaps have come to visit and watch their family play, but there are many thousands more sitting at home watching with interest and listening with interest. It's difficult to convey just how exciting the atmosphere has been all week here at these games. The spirit, the camaraderie between the teams has been remarkable, and I want to pay particular mention to the Samoan teams, both the men and women. They've just been tremendous in the stands, getting, truckloads of school kids very excited, very animated here, day after day, night after night. It's been wonderful. The thing, you look at the scores, and some of the scores have been a little bit lopsided, but what the people that aren't down here don't realize is the purpose of the tournament is certainly competition and sharing experiences, but there's also been coaching clinics and players clinics throughout the week to share experience, share drills, and it's a good learning experience for everybody. And as I said, for some of our players, it's for all the teams, all 16 teams. It's really going to open up their eyes to the potential and possibilities of playing sport, and the attitude of the Tahitians and the Samoans. They've been great. They've had a lot of fun here, and some of the games have been absolutely knockout games, where 2 or 3 point games have been settled in the last couple of minutes, and it's been a lot of fun. There's a lot of smiling faces in the stadium. Now, into the third quarter, it's 55-35. Australia up by 20.
Oceania 2012 Pacific Youth Basketball Championship is proudly sponsored by the Trope City and New Energy Events, Basketball Australia, Basketball Victoria, Basketball Victoria Country, and also the Monash University of Gippsland. Without any of them,
And and we got to tell you, you mentioned technology, and we've got to say a special thanks to Al Gore, because Al Gore came out and said that he invented the internet, and it's one of the things that he's known for when President Clinton was.
Intense pressure in the backcourt from New Zealand now. Australia driving to the basket. That's 2 points are good from Alex Sharp. That puts Australia 57-38 now. 9 minutes remaining in the last quarter of this final match in the 2012 Oceania Championships here in Churchill.
Just to add, we've talked about the heat. For those that are watching this from other parts of Australia and New Zealand and around the world, in Australia we don't have heated gyms or air-conditioned gyms, so it's been, I think on Thursday, the temperatures in the gym were about 110 Fahrenheit. Today it's really hot and humid, and so we've had Monday, Tuesday really hot days, Thursday exceptionally hot, and today, so all the players have worked really hard, and you see a little bit of people getting tired and it's expected. It's a long week. It's exciting for them, but we'd love it if we could get an air conditioning or a fan in a few of these stadiums out here.
You know what? Just a roof cap even to let some of the hot air out of these places. They're hot in the summer and they're cold in the wintertime, that's for sure.
Yeah, we should probably see if Al Gore can come out and work out the cooling problems in the Australian stadiums, because that would help us out a lot.
Tired bodies out there now, I think, Brad. You're right, it's been a long week.
It's just getting a little bit sloppy now.
How difficult is it for teams from all of these teams, I imagine, are made up of players who don't ordinarily train and play with each other? They come together not long before a tournament like this. So it kind of takes them a week nearly to get into the groove, doesn't it, of playing with this new group.
It does, and it benefits the stronger countries like Australia and New Zealand, where they have really strong and deep domestic programs in their club programs, where they're able to come in and make adjustments pretty quick. And And you hear stories about some of the kids from the other countries and you're not getting the opportunity to train too much together. And quite frankly, that's where you get the most benefit out of anything, is just when you practice. But it's really good to learn and see what other countries, how they play. But Australia typically adapts fairly well because of the style of basketball we have, and then also the fact that these kids come from big programs and they're taught, how to play and how to work, within a structure, how to get through the spacing and how to pass the ball and how to play the game of basketball, which is, you gotta remember, it's one ball, 5 people. And some kids sometimes forget about that.
So, as far as I'm aware, Brad, in Australia, with through Basketball Australia cascading down to the state programs and then domestic programs, there is a consistency in the way that the game is taught, the way coaches are developed, and the way Australians go about playing basketball.
Absolutely, and they're working on it, all the time to increase the consistency of, so when the kids are a certain age, up at 10 till up to 10, 11, they're taught basic things, footwork, ball handling, and then as they get into their 13s and 14s, they're taught more structure offensively and then defensively. So I think Basketball Australia, has got some fantastic coaches around the country at all levels, at the state and at the club, and then we have a good pathway program that leads kids into the Australian team and then leads them up to the junior Australian teams, through the state teams, and then through to the Institute of Sport. And as we see then too, like your daughter, Hannah, who is a scholarship player at St. Mary's University in outside of San Francisco. So it's you've got to be pretty excited about that.
Very excited. I mean, there's some wonderful opportunities for Australian players, and our family have had some great adventures as a result of our involvement with basketball over the years. But I'm wondering how it compares, how our system of developing juniors compares with the way things are managed in the States, Brad.
The States, it's through the high school programs, and they also have like a little club system in the summer, what they call AAU basketball. But the high school programs are really, strong. They've got good facilities. They have a defined season, and they've got an abundance of players because that's the home of basketball. But I think what's remarkable over the last few years is the development of the overseas players, and you see that now in the NBA with a lot of Europeans that are going in and playing, and they play a certain style that is actually, it's really, really attractive to coach, and it's really neat to watch. So the sports really developed so much in the last 15 years globally, not just in Australia. And you see now going to the Olympics, the U.S. has to put in a really strong team, and the likes of the Spaniards can go in there and can compete with them. And I think we're going to see in the next couple of years, my prediction is we're going to start to see some of the European countries that will get a gold medal in the Olympics. And it's just the game is really developed, and it's an exciting sport. (63-38) with 4:20 to go. Australia is really sort of starting to, get on top of New Zealand now. It's a great shot by New Zealand. Number 15, who's just come into the game. And Alexandra Sharp, number 10, goes out for Australia. Alex had a great week also. Timeout New Zealand at 64-40 with 3:46 in the fourth quarter. And as you can see, Australia's put up nine points to Australia this quarter. 5 to New Zealand. It's really slowed down. The kids are tired now. There's a lot of quick shots. They just the last 3 or 4 minutes they've just really ran up and down the floor, and it hasn't been really pretty basketball. But nobody's injured, and then they're all out there working hard.
That's right. A bit less than 4 minutes to go now. They're going to be long minutes, aren't they, Brad? You're right. They're very tired, just moving up and down the floor as best they can and trying to deliver what the coaches are asking of them. It's been a very, very long week. Tremendous opportunity for these young people to be playing in their country colours, representing their country, and who knows what's ahead for many of them.
Now New Zealand's in the zone. They've stayed in the zone in the second half, and I think that it definitely hasn't been as effective. But I think it's been necessary just because some foul trouble, and then also probably the thought is it will slow down some of the penetration. But it certainly opened up a lot of opportunities for Australia. At the free throw line for New Zealand is Gracie Roberts-Hare. And in 64-42 with 3:21 to go. Crystal McKenzie, good basket by Crystal. You know what's funny is the two guards that are out on the floor now for Australia, Crystal McKenzie and Elizabeth Tonks. They're very, very good. They've defended like demons, but it's been surprising they haven't had a lot of shot opportunities because they have been so unselfish, and they're very smart, and they've just been distributing the ball game after game and just defending. And while they're very good shooters and absolutely capable of scoring a lot of points, they've been great teammates through the week. Would you agree?
I'd have to agree with you, Brad. I think and that's the role, isn't it, of a really functional, high-performing point guard to be that game maker, game director, I suppose, traffic controller on the floor, and actually really set up opportunities for their teammates.
And there we go. Daniela has fouled out. Danielle's had a great week. She has been absolutely unstoppable, and she's a really, really promising, good big player. She's got good hands. She got tied up a couple of times tonight and got some, a couple of fouls that, just a little bit unfortunate. But she's rebounded really well. She's ran the floor, and she's just been tough physically all week.
2.5 minutes to go now. Australia 66-45. And another intercept from Bridget O'Brien. And turnover, we've got Ascani Pirihi taking the ball and pushing it forward for New Zealand. And a nice layup there from Gracie Roberts-Hare, who's come on and made an impact in this last quarter for New Zealand.
There you go. It is a little bit ugly though. Before Gracie made her shot, we had 3 straight turnovers in about 4 or 5 seconds. So I think both teams now. It's there's a minute 56 left to go. There's another turnover there. Their concentration has dropped off. The energy is certainly there, but I think the kids know the result now, and they're being very, very professional and sportsmanlike in finishing the game out. But they're not concentrating as much as I'm sure the coaches would like them to.
No doubt. Now I see the Australian men's team are here, and the New Zealand men are arriving for their match shortly after. So it's men and women, Australia and New Zealand, in the 2012 Oceania Championships.
Yeah, not to get ahead of ourselves, but that's going to be a good game. It's going to be a really good game to watch. I'm looking forward to it. But just want to say a couple words about the coaches. James Bellinger, big week for him for New Zealand. He's done a good job. The kids had a great first half. They've kind of dropped away a little bit in the second half, but I'm sure he's got to be really happy with the experience and the effort of the kids, and getting the opportunity to coach these guys too. Look really positive body language on the sidelines through the week, and he really has enjoyed it. And the Australian coach, Paul Flynn, hey, he's done a fantastic job. It's always tough to bring a bunch of really good kids together and say, okay, we're going to play like a team. And he's got them playing like a team. He's rotated them. They've played really hard, and the kids have enjoyed it. And Paul's done a good job of making sure that they are all learning and they're confident, and then they've all had some really good moments. And I'm sure that, Paul has had a very enjoyable weekend, a very rewarding week, down here.
He's a quality guy, Paul. We've had something to do with him through Dandenong basketball. Now we've just had a nice 3 from Ascani Pirahi there for New Zealand. But James Bellinger, we talked about the challenge of bringing players from across the country together to train and then come together and play as a team. James has got some players who are actually based here in Australia who needed to travel home to New Zealand to train. So that's got to make it even tougher.
Yeah. I guess you could probably do some by Skype, I think, if you set your computers up right.
Get Al Gore
yeah, that's right. But Paul coaches at Dandenong, which is, for those of you that haven't heard of the program, it's a big program in Melbourne. Good facilities. They've got a lot of players, and they have players. There's a 24-second violation by New Zealand, but they have teams in all of the leagues. They have a National League women's program. They have a Development League men's program. They have a Southeastern League men's program, and they have Development League women's program. So they have just a lot of teams, a lot of high-level teams, and they won the WNBL National Championship, the Professional Leagues Championship last year, with Mark Wright as their coach, who is another, big name, and he's got a long, very, very positive history of coaching and playing in Australia. So a lot of talented coaches down there, and a ton of talented players. And there we go, the final buzzer, 67 Australia, 49 New Zealand. What do you think?
Well, I think the score doesn't give justice to New Zealand's effort here. As you say, they put in a fantastic first quarter, solid first half, really, and Australia just seemed to get away in the second half. I think both teams were fatigued. Probably we didn't see the best basketball from either of them in the second half of this game, but, a great end to a great week, really. We've got 2 strong teams here, well supported by teams from across the Pacific, cheering along their friends that they've made throughout the week. It's been a great event.